here on your Monday it is. So looks like I call this Stakeout for whatever reason, but I guess I just had a few thoughts on some of the lunacy that's going on, or the lunacy that's always trending, it seems. So I guess we could just start with one thing that I heard. It's probably about a month old, and it was pertaining to something that came out of Northwestern. Actually, I heard it shared on via, was it Larry Elder? I think he talked about an opinion piece that was shared, that maybe a student wrote something on the subject or the premise of the sidewalks. The sidewalks at Northwestern were too white or something like that. But it just makes me wonder, what are we talking about now? Are we really talking about, to me, it seems like we're talking more about, it seems like that racism now is almost like translated more into, it's more like, to me, more revealing on a mental illness, for the lack of a better word, because it's being conflated so much that not only has it lost its sting, it's just anything that you say can be, you know, viewed as racist. It just doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be, you know, related to race at all. It's just, what they put, the label they put on. So hello, Derek C. Williams. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming in for my stakeout. And I'm outside, as you can hear, or if you can tell from the elements in the background. But yeah, this is just, I'm a little bit on a whim here. However, hi, alien believers. How are you? So yeah, so it just makes me think, okay, how about it just sounds more like paranoia to me, because when you just look up a simple definition or whatever, choose your weapon on the actual dictionary or whatnot. And when you look up the word paranoia, it basically it encapsulates everything that's related to the charges. To me, according to this is actually just, this is an Oxford language, it's a dictionary. Hello, Tyrant Spain TOA, how are you? It's a mental condition characterized by delusions of persecution, unwarranted jealousy, or exaggerated self-importance, typically elaborated into an organized system. It may be an aspect of chronic personality disorder, of drug abuse, or of serious conditions such as schizophrenia, in which the person loses touch with reality. And you can keep going on and on and on, and you can get also suspicion and mistrust of people or their actions. But I'm just thinking, okay, we're taking it to the sidewalks now. We're on the sidewalks now. So the premise, I think, of the argument was that maybe somehow somehow the Jim Crow is the underlying reasons that maybe people don't move for black students when they walk by on the sidewalks at Northwestern. To be honest, that was a school that I considered going to. But some of these places, I just think that it'd be way too hard to deal with these kinds of extremes. Maybe 10 years ago, maybe not so much. But now, the wokeness is just, it's everywhere. Even in the music department, I think we're all well aware that the domain has more whites than blacks, especially in the states orchestras, the major orchestras, or the regional orchestras. There's only like 2% of those orchestras that are, that their personnel happen to be black or African American musicians or librarians, or whatever position. That's the extent of the personnel there. But and we're aware of these things, but I don't think I became a musician or I became an educator to be, to to validate, any type of victimhood. That's not why. But some people, it's like a new, it's a new institution, and it's never going to end, it seems. Will I say that, the musicians, maybe the classical musicians were not recognized as widely? No, they weren't. I will say most of the composers, they came from Europe, and of course we had musicians here. We had them in New York. Whether you go, Scott Joplin, or we've had them in this country, but on the classical stage, we have not had as many. Do I have an explanation for that? No, but I don't even know what the studies say on that now. They point these things out, but I never hear any solutions, or I never do. I know there's outreach that you can do. I know there's community outreach. I know there's lots of things that are being done, but they're still not bringing the people in. You can do free concerts. I know I've done initiatives. I've been a part of initiatives that tried to bring more people in, for classical music or whatnot. And it still doesn't quite work. You still end up with that small percentage. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in. Let me just say hello to everybody, because I'm kind of rambling. I'm all over the place right now. But this is, I see what I see right now. So who do we have here? Derek C. Williams is late to the party, in work mode. You're not late. Thanks so much for coming in. You're on there too, from Philadelphia. It's not funny, but I like the. It's very clever that Alien Believers. How are you? Who else do I see here? Sorry about that. I'm gonna get back to the top chat. Believe it or not. Terrence Bain, TOA, how are you? And Derek C. Williams says there's a politician that claimed that the pavement is racist. The white lines dictate what direction the black street goes. Read about that a month or so ago. You can't. That's what I'm talking about. This is. And I'm going to be honest, for people that happen to be black or identify as black right now, if you're tuned into this stream right now, you're the kind of people that I don't want to be around. I don't, as the old school people say, I don't want to deal with people like you. Or as they say, I don't want to be bothered with people that's absolutely, crazy makers. The pavement, that's a good one, Derek C. Williams. I'd love to get the link on that if you have it. But yeah, so the sidewalks, I don't know, I'm surprised they haven't banned, or they're not writing legislation for white rice or over brown rice, or, I can't, I can't make this stuff up. Hang on just a second. But I'm talking about paranoia, it's schizophrenia. We're talking about just constant, you can't eat, you can't sleep, delusions, obsessions. You just can't. But I'm just thinking, are the people, are they spazzing out about their paychecks and the amount of white that's on the I don't know. I'm not picking it up. Did I lose the connection there? Are you guys still there? Okay, hopefully you guys are still there. The Spirit of Liberty is here. How are you? And Marcy T's here. How are you? And yeah, I'm behind, Derek C. Williams. I'm behind on your video. Let me read this. Derek C. Williams says, a Washington, D.C. city official figuratively, quote, fell on the sword. He used the word, what, niggardly? Oh, God. That just sounds ugly. In a budget meeting, the term means miserly, no racial connotations, but you could tell that to blacks. You can't tell that to blacks. Yeah, I'm saying you just absolutely, you can't make these things up. I I don't know. I don't know what they're going to discriminate against us, because to me, that's all they're doing. They're just looking for reasons to, okay, even if, okay, if you color your world, is it, if you make it, if you take things away, then what are you left with? You still have the same world, right? I just, I don't know, why aren't psychologists or psychiatrists calling these things out? That's not my domain of competence, but I just see it as, everything is racist, and everything is racist. I don't know that life. I've never thought of things that way. And with all the things they're trying to install into the schools, I mean, do we want segregation again? Is that what we're driving to? And Alien Believer says, woke my whole life. Just couldn't believe what they were saying, and many years ago walked away from the argument that they were lying. Marcy T. Hi, Marcy T. Oh, thanks so much. I will grab that. I will grab that one as soon as possible. And Anarchy Television says the day is racist against the night, and the night is racist against the day. I don't know. What do you think they're saying about the clouds? What could they be saying about the clouds in the sky at this point? I just don't, is this making us more unified? All of these analysis, hypersensitivities to anything that's white. I just, hi, Latin Patriot, how are you? Sniper Steve is here, how are you? Thank you guys so much for coming in for my, what I'm calling the stakeout. It's just I don't hear anything when you on, but I see notifications. Are you saying you don't hear anything right now? I'm not. I'm still in. I can't be in heaven because I'm still in this place. But I'm still. Simply a sweetheart. How are you? And I'm just saying. I just think that people. If you're losing sleep over at night over the amount of whiteness, I think probably people they're probably saying that about the walls. Like, why are all the, hey, I just moved into this place, and I get here, and guess what? The white man's on my walls. He's on my walls. He's on my toilet seat. He's on my bathtub, on my bath tile. He's everywhere. I sound like I sound like a nut job. No. No, I'm saying no, I don't have schizophrenia, but I'm saying that these are the basis for people making some of these analyses. They're more based on paranoia, and it's based on delusions, and always somebody's always out to get me, because I'm black. It must be I'm black. These clouds are out to get me right now, because it must be because I'm black. Actually, I'm going to be honest. I have to disagree. I agree with Joe Biden. I'm not black. I'm more like, I'm kind of brown. And some of my friends even say I'm copper. So, Marcy T says, is having white teeth racist now? Well, you'd be surprised at who's actually asking for the whitener on the teeth. I'm just saying. That's a good observation. Hi, Marcy T. Thank you so much for coming in. But no, I'm just saying all of these opinion pieces and all of this wokeness, it's just it's obsessive. It's like, oh, we're OCD now. We're an OCD nation. Almost. You can go down the rabbit hole all day long, I guess. What kind of, depending on how much time you have, and at these colleges, I guess that's their industry. They have to obsess about something, because otherwise, I guess they don't have a job, or they don't have anything to write. They don't have to do any real work. They just have to keep everybody angry and obsessing over the same things, or get people to praise them over their obsessions. Let's see. Simply a sweetheart says, I have a friend. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm doing the top chat here and I get a little bit behind. So she says, I have a friend that has, and it's heartbreaking to watch them go down, to watch them on a downward spiral from who they used to be. It's a real disease. But see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, why are we not having conversations about mental health? And this is not a joke. Why can't we, figure out what's actually going on with who's actually making these charges? Do you think I believe the entire Black community is analyzing the whole world and sidewalks and toilet seats? And it's not true. It's not real. I think people that are, and a lot of times I find a lot of people that make comments and say silly things like that, it's only because they heard somebody else say it, or they grew up with some parent that perpetuated, that was saying things, crazy things like this when they were growing up. So now that they're an adult, they find themselves still saying it, still saying these things. They don't know why they're saying it. They have no idea. And I have a family member that I talked to, and yeah, she basically, she's not being a victim. She's trying to help, she's trying to defend somebody else's victimhood. And it's just, I'm just thinking, do you ever get enough? Do you get enough of that? You're ruining your own life, your own peace with victimhood all the time. Oh, well, they can't do this and they can't do that. She just goes on and on and on. And to me, the people that she's defending would never defend her, because she's not where they are. She's not an elite, but she'll defend an elite even if they're doing wrong things. But as long as it's a Black person doing it, it's like, it's okay. So it's okay as long as somebody of your same Black background is attacking you or attacking people that look like you, you're going to continue to make excuses or to keep it up. It's the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. But I was quite impressed that she even listened to me. So I don't know. Maybe we are in the twilight zone. So let me read some comments here. But it's sad to say, I think her mom would say things like that. And I think she just kind of took it to another level. Like, okay, now you're like, 5.0 or something version of your mom or whatever right now. And it's not working out too well for you because you're miserable right now. Marcy T says, I'm half white, so I always feel I'm half guilty. No way. Hang on, I'm getting behind here. Latin Patriot says, it's just exaggerations to make excuses, to make a mountain out of molehills, to get something and to make fun of, really. Anarchy Television says, I don't think government should be the one to determine our mental health. And Marcy T says, I grew up in the 70s. We were all friends. And Derek C. Williams says, Blacks have a contentious history with America that's not even up for debate in my estimation. But I am American born, and there's no other country on earth that I'd rather be in. And Ronald, this is a Sniper Steve says, Ronald Reagan said in 1975 that communism will come to America under the guise of liberalism. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Sniper Steve, I didn't know that quote. Well, that's what they're working on, and they're going to use the Black community to make it happen. I mean, it's already happening. I mean, yeah. It's definitely already happening. Thank you guys so much for coming in on the blown out stakeout here. So yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, and Derek C. Williams says, a college female in Wisconsin set fire to her own dorm room and claims it was racial. Just read about it this morning. A female Juicy Smollett. Derek C. All right, Derek C. Williams. DM, you won the chat comment of the day. Hi Reasonability. How are you? All right, guys. I don't have any bells and whistles to solicit algorithm nutrition. So when if you get a chance, if you think about it, if you're surviving this stakeout that I'm doing right now, then if you'll hit that button, then that'll be for good measure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And Latin Patriot says, I discovered slowly peace at a time government not helping. Hang on a second. Not helping any married couples, especially if one has a job. That's wrong and backwards. System is backwards, upside down. And simply a sweetheart. Did you hear about the African American lady in the Droom that was hated by her white roommate who did very foul things with her toothbrush? It was horrible. No, I have not. Yikes. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying some of this, I mean, you can't defend, you cannot, you can't, justify everything with, you can't back everything up with racism. I'm sorry. You just can't. I mean, I'm not sorry. I'm just, it's just not available. It doesn't fit. You just can't put that square into the circle. You just can't. Not all the time. It's a charge. It's still, to me, I don't even know if people can define an opinion anymore. Do people realize there's a difference between fact and an opinion? What we can prove, what we can see, what we can taste, what we can touch, that's different than it's just so far gone. It's just so far conflated that I don't know. I don't think people are thinking anymore. I just think they just go to, that's convenient. That's the convenient, argument for everything. And reasonability says simply a hate for an individual because of their character or treatment of you isn't a hate based on race. It's because of how you perceive that person. And simply a sweetheart, pulling the race card is very overused these days. Yeah, whatever happened to people just being jerks? Or, I mean, is there anything in between black and white? Or is there anything in between racism? They don't, the left and the Marxists, they don't tend to believe in a spectrum when it comes to that. But when it comes to gender, they say, oh, there's that's a spectrum. Or they'll say that, they'll say it on other issues, but there's nothing in between. Everything is black and white when it fits their narrative. Let me just see this thing here. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I know it's a little bit wild. I'm a little bit wild out here, but I just decided to come out here anyway. Derek C. Williams says facts are now conspiracy theories and crazy talk now. And the Sexy Mexy one, how are you? Are you new to the channel? Thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. That is a lot of truth right there. And Derek C. Williams says, on the other hand, truth is stranger than fiction. You judge. Yeah, it's certainly bizarro land. But I'm just honestly sick of it. I'm so sick of all the. I mean, this is stuff. 20 years ago, you would have gotten laughed out of your seat in your class or in your neighborhood for saying some of this stuff. But now it's just acceptable to charge people with whatever you want based on them being white. And am I saying that racism racism doesn't exist? No, that's not what I'm saying. Am I saying discrimination doesn't exist? No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying what they're doing right now is something totally different. And for those people that already have, I'll tell you, and this is my opinion, this is my assertion. If you know, for those of us that tend to be on the artsy side, you know, I think we're a little bit more inclined because we can see things more from a spectrum, you know, point of view, with a spectrum kind of perception. But that also doesn't mean you throw away logic just so you can see something like that. When it comes to art, when it comes to dance, when it comes to performance, or when it comes to visual communication, or viscom is what I call it, you know, I think the spectrum is, you're welcome. It's appropriate. You know, it'll meet the multitude of, it'll meet what it needs to meet. But just like they just want to throw everything away. Nothing means nothing. You know, up doesn't mean up. Down doesn't mean down. Cold doesn't mean cold. Hot doesn't mean hot. It's just bizarro land. And Marcy T says, folks so dumbed down they believe that all the gatekeeper pundits are false new prophets. Marcy T says, tell, lie, vision. There you go. And Land Patriot says, people are dumb. I know someone that thought the docu-series of searching for mermaids was real and believed they really found mermaids. He was born in the USA and 36-year-old and dumb AF guy. That's heavy. And Derek C. Williams says Larry Elder has a documentary called Uncle Tom, quote, Uncle Tom, end quote, dealing with Black people, race, and conservative values, end quote. Yes, I saw that. I did see that. It was very interesting. Very interesting perspective there. I thought that was well done. I actually thought it would have been a little bit long. Maybe it would have been a hair longer. I think there were some sections in there that they may have expounded on a little bit more, but I think in the amount of time, I thought that they did pretty well. I thought they did pretty well on that. Let's see. Let me get back to the top here. Joseph Francis Burton is here. And Derek C. Williams says, in the late 1980s, I looked at black conservatives as black sellouts. Turns out blacks originally were conservative following the Civil War, and Derek was just an idiot not knowing the history. Easy. Easy. Okay, and then there's I wanted to share one other thing. I think that Amazon is adding something else. I guess I better hurry up because I'm running out of juice on that one. Let me just read this comment here really quickly. Hi, Joseph Francis Burton. He says, the other day I saw a young Mexican lady pulling a race card at a white grocery store manager, holding up the line saying she was being oppressed. I did not work my town. My town is 90% Hispanic. Let's see, hang on a second here. So I have something, at least give you guys the liner on this one. I don't know if you guys have any of these devices and it just shut down. I think there is I may have to share it later. I may put it on the community tab. I think there's something that's going to come out from the children's health children'shealthorg.org, children'shealthdefense.org. And it's going to be something related to, I think, Alexa. I'll share that with you as soon as I can. I may not be able to get it done in this time, but I appreciate it. Derek C. Williams says the outtakes of that documentary are on there to post. Oh, thank you. And Marcy T says, well, remember one of the senators thought an island would tip over if too many planes were parked on it. I know who that one is. Name that senator. How about it? You guys got it? I'll give you guys on the count of 3. Sniper Steve says 1.33K. I remember when your channel first started, it's pretty stagnant. It's pretty plateaued, but I understand that. I know why, and I'm fine with it. It's not, I think it's going to stay where it is, or it's going to lose because, they don't care for dissent here on the tubes. So I'm a dissenter. I'm probably a conspiracy theorist by many judgments, and that's fine. So yeah, I remember. I thank you for. I remember you being one of the first subscribers. So thank you for hanging around, Sniper Steve, to see my number here. Trying to keep up here with the top chat. And Derek C. Williams says Amazon has a device that will listen to its customers. Yes, absolutely. A device that will listen to its customers without consent. I know, isn't it bizarre? It's definitely not comfortable. I really appreciate you guys for coming in for the stakeout here. But I may share that link later. Marcy T says it's called Nancy the Narc. So we'll see. Yeah, I really don't take you guys for granted. And I don't like, and the numbers, I don't expect, actually I expected I would have grown at least a little bit more. And of course you get those people that come and they go, and then that's fine too. People also come and go when they subscribe to, I don't know, dare I say, what's a cable TV subscription? What is it? Stars or, So if it's not for you, it's just not. And then if it's not for YouTube, they don't like it, then they'll do what they do also. So it's all good. It works. But it's nice that you guys are still around. I appreciate that very much. So I'm just gonna say hi to everybody, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Uncle Tom equals Pepsodent Biden. All right, thank you for that, Sniper Steve. Let me see here. Hope you guys can see me here. I assume that you can. All right, so thanks so much for coming in. Latin Patriot, Sniper Steve, Anarchy Television is here. Simply a Sweetheart. Marcy T's here. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. And Sniper Steve says my skin color is American. Thank you so much. And I agree, Anarchy, on the government dealing with mental health. No, we don't. But the sad thing about it is the same people, all of their committees and the studies, like our Congress they've done studies on black boys and black men, but why hasn't that led to progress? Or do you find that ironic that all of their surveys, their studies come from their people, their esteemed, elite institutions? Everything comes from them. So, I think you can manipulate the data and the conversation to say, whatever, to sway it however you want it to appear, I mean, how objective is it? If everything comes from the same bias, the same source, the same taint, the same, the same woke committee. You recruit your woke committee, and it's just it's an echo chamber. All right, so let me make sure I got everybody in there. So Latin Patriot, Sniper Steve, thank you so much for coming in. Risen Ability, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Positively Penny, how are you? It's been a lifetime. I know it's a little bit all over the place, but the sidewalks and Jim Crow and the sidewalks, come on. You got to do better. You got to do a little better than that. You've got to do better. That just sounds, this stuff is starting to sound like, just as they say, just straight up trolling. Now you're trolling, or it's either you're trolling or it's paranoia. It's borderline mental illness. Is what we're pontificating on. Thank you guys so much for coming in. It seems like I missed somebody. Tyrant Spain TDOA. I think Tyrant Spain TDOA was here. Yep. Jerry C. Williams, thank you so much for coming in. I really